That looks sub 15 kilometers an hour to me.
I've got us racing.
Oh wow. Let's dial into the voices on board here. This will give us the best picture of what's going on.
Big left shift here. Yep. Come up 30 degrees.
He's not tacked yet, he's still on board.
Move that lead out for a second.
Here, Paul Campbell-James, wing trimmer on board America, Chris Draper, wing trimmer on Japan, talking about the timing. They're already coming into the race as we're approaching the 1 minute warning signal.
We are 1 minute away from the start, the restart of the grand final here in San Francisco, California, the last race of season 2 of SailGP. First race abandoned after a whale sighting. The Americans with a damaged boat on the stern, and here we go, 43 seconds.
So all boats are on port here with 43 seconds to go, with one maneuver to do, one tack to do to line themselves up with to the start with 30 seconds to go. Very short to Mark 1 and only 600 meters from Mark 1 down to the first gate.
It's almost upwind to Mark 1 here. First to lead back is the Americans. Tom Slingsby turns the Australian boat away from the wind. He's hoping to get up on the foils with 15 seconds to go. How's the timing? The Japanese closest to the line leading back, not what we expected. Dark patch of wind coming in above here. 8, 7 seconds to go. It's all about who can get on the foil. The Australians have the speed. There's the start there. Spittle's done a fantastic job again, but who's going to get on the foils first? It's Australia and Tom Slingsby. They're boosting away towards Mark 1. The camera boat in the way of the Japanese here, but boosting away. This is going to be a huge lead for Tom Slingsby as the Americans fall off the foils in the background. Advantage Slingsby. Both boats behind off the foils.
Head pressure's up, slingers. Yeah, trying to get through this.
Nathan Outridge, we have to apologise for a bit of swearing there. He was very upset with the camera boat that was in his way as he was trying to accelerate.
We're going again here, Milky.
There we go. That's the voice of Tom Slingsby, and he is going to be down the road. Look at these two boats here, sat in no wind.
Left turn, please.
And I'm looking at the UNPAP right now. Australia's about to get to Mark 1, and they must have half a leg lead on the Americans and the Japanese that we're on board with now. The Australians have just arrived at Mark 1 in pressure, bearing away. And
look at the speed difference.
Look at the speed difference, 50 kilometers an hour versus 25. I know which boat I'd like to be on, but as the hull pops up on board the American boat here, look for the right-hand side of screen. They're up and foiling. Right, time to chase them down. That's the voice of Paul Campbell-James calling there. Come down, we can turn down. I've got good wind in the boat. I'm up and foiling, and they're now leaving the Japanese behind.
And the Americans are about to arrive at Mark 1. The Australians are halfway down the second leg, with the Japanese a long way back in first. Here's our leaders. Here's Australia. They have got one in.
As they get away from the shore, we can see in the background there, they're moving further and further away from the shore, and as they move downwind, they're gonna find more wind, clear away from the shore, so the rich are gonna get richer early on.
These are the defending champions, Australia. They get an early break here in the grand final, $1 million plus on the line. They make the turn, they are on to leg number 3, and they will see the Americans and the Japanese still making their way down course, so a huge advantage to a team that you do not want to give an advantage to.
First tack early, keen to tack there on board the Australian boat, trying to stay in the breeze away from shore.
So we're set up in that westerly race course again with the breeze round in the south. Really makes it a bit processional, but that westerly breeze might kick back in and the breeze swing to the right.
Awful lot of manoeuvres on board the American boat there at the bottom. Paul Campbell-James, wing trim, are very happy. They managed to stay on the foil as we see Japan in the background. Can't help feeling as we approach the top of the course, right up underneath that San Francisco shoreline, that's where the Jeopardy's going to come back into it for this Australian crew. Can they get in and out of there staying on the foils?
I think the left-hand approach looks better at the top.
That's the voice of Carl Langford. He wants to be on the left-hand side. He wants to be nearer the shore, Freddie Carr. He wants the breeze coming off that San Francisco shoreline.
Yeah, the breeze is out of that San Francisco shoreline. And right now, the Australians are pointing directly at the windward mark in pressure. And they are extending and extending and extending, coming up to a 500-meter lead.
Heard him discussing the manoeuvre here. Does he want to do a Chicago? Right turn early, jibe. Yeah, so he's looking to set up for a right turn straight into a jibe. They're going to be able to sail directly up and down the course. This is a leader's dream. It's just about sailing their own boat now. Keep it smooth, keep it simple.
Gains up here.
Talking about the gains, there you see the wind at the top. Checking in around 20 kilometers an hour, and it's Australia that found the wind first. They took off as they make their way on. You heard the talk of this Chicago.
Chicago, that's a right turn on the jibe, but they're off the foils.
Down.
Off the foils here. Now, how long are they going to stay off the foils? Will they get more wind back to pop up? This could be opportunity knocks for the boats behind if they're going to get a chance. This is it. Where's the next gust of wind?
Forward up your side. What's the break?
Look at the top left, look at the distance to lead, and that is coming down pretty quickly. It's about to go down past 500. It's going down 10 meters a second as the Australians are off the foil, and it looks to me like the USA are coming in with good pressure in the middle of the course.
Listen, that Tom Slingsby, we've got to be patient, we've got to punch through this. We could see it.
We're going to go to the top.
We can see here foiling in come the American crew. Look at the distance coming down. Will they get there in breeze? At the moment, look at the speeds. 11 kilometers an hour for the Australians, 45 kilometers an hour for the USA, and they're back within the same shot. The race is all on.
We have a restart.
Oh, but they're not laying. They're not laying. How big a mistake's that? They look like they might have been a bit greedy. They need to make the right turn.
But look at this, guys. It was over 500 meters. The lead for the Australians is now below 125. And now the Americans, and here comes Japan.
I'll tell you what, and Japan are wound up in a real lefty here. They are going to lay. And if the Japanese keep the boat on the foil, which they don't, and the Australians pick up the breeze, the Japanese have just come in to...
We can see there on the back of the boat, Nina Curtis looking out for breeze. Hull comes up, good sign for the Australian fans. Next thing we should look to see is on the right-hand side of the screen, can they get that other hull out of the water? Can they get it foiling again? It's skimming, there it goes, it's up, it's released. The rich are about to get richer again, boosting away.
So here comes the distance. Watch this grow quickly.
And
in the background, the Japanese are through to second, but look, they're at under 10 kilometres, they're at 8 kilometres an hour.
Look at the boat speed difference.
40 kilometres an hour difference. That's just huge. But we've seen it, the top of the course is going to be pivotal. Nathan Outridge, he's spent less time in the water than anyone else. Looks like he's about to get foiling again. Up to second of the Japanese crew. This race is still on.
Reset. I know it's too eased.
So
building here.
Didn't quite get it up on the foils. A mistake from the Japanese crew there as the Aussies are off.
I'm looking at the unpap, and the Australians are in the bottom third of the downwind, whilst the Japanese are still trying to get on the foil in the top half of the upwind, and the Americans are stuck at the windward gate in no wind.
This is leg 4 of 6. They will make the turn, they will head upwind, and then it'll be a short distance to the finish line, and Australia has almost locked this thing up. The defending champions from last year looking to make it 2 in a row, and look at the distance growing.
Stevie, is this a victory lap right now? 800 meters.
I think they're going to struggle to not manage to make it stick from here, but we've seen how bad the top of the course can be. I can't see it from here. They're just looking so solid. Just whether or not they're this far ahead, they're sailing the boat the best. That's what they're doing a great job. Lots of comms on board the boat. The Japanese, they are on the foils. They have closed the distance a bit. They're going faster, 66 kilometres an hour versus 55.
Distance to lead is 600 meters. The Americans, the Australians, pardon me, are halfway up their final upwind and on the foil.
Locking it in and setting up. Boundary coming quick, my wing.
Here we go.
Going forward. Good path here. 2, 1. 2, 1. Fucked. Sitting. 1.
So here we go. It is Australia, the winners of last year's SailGP season, with a massive lead, looking to bring it home and claim the win in the grand final. All kinds of drama taking place today in races 4 and 5 collisions. We had an abandonment, we had a whale sighting, and now they have come back, and the Australians have been the class. Remember, guys, they've already got 4 wins on the season, and they look so smooth.
Well, this is it. It's the voice of Carl Langford. We're not quite pointing at the marks, but Slingsby just wants to get the boat up on foiling. The reassurance of foiling is all they need. Look, they're up and going. Speed's going to build. They're foiling high above the water, and that could well be the crucial moment as they bring it in towards the finish line.
2, 1, going board.
Japan has moved into second place, but they are more than 460 meters behind Australia. Similar the way it ended last year, with Australia getting the win ahead of Japan. The USA nowhere in the running right now with that damaged boat. They sit in third place. But this, the grand final, Tom Slingsby seems to save the best for last. For Australia, SailGP, the repeat is now complete. 2-time SailGP champions here in San Francisco.
Getting softer here. Hard lefty.
This is just the victory lap as they flex for the fans that have turned out here to watch the world's best sailors as they cruise along the shoreline. And it is Australia that claims the title in 2022.
1, just gonna bear away here, guys. Bearing away here.
Wow. There you go, that means something. Jason Waterhouse there in the hatch, flight controller, absolutely fizzing. Australian fans absolutely fizzing. What a race. I mean, the conditions, got to say, over the season, the deserved champions for me, and to deliver in those conditions, wow, fair play. Fair play. Nina Curtis, Tom Slingsby, everyone, great job.
5 wins this season, and the last one, the most valuable, at $1 million in the grand final.
They held their nerve at that first windward gate, and the world was changing around them. They held their nerve. Tom Slingsby said, "Be patient, our turn will come." Their turn came. They've won $1 million US. They've won season 2 of SailGP. I take my hat off to that result.
What a performance. What a performance.
And Japan
Turning up.
will finish in second place again. Nothing to hang their heads about. They had some great success this year, of course, winning in Italy. They came back and won in France as well. But second place for Nathan Outridge and Japan SailGP.
Guys. All right.
Japan didn't have the best start in that final, but there was a camera boat directly in front of them when they were trying to get on the foil, and I understand Nathan's frustrations when he was talking as they were sailing off the line. A real tricky one for those guys. Feel for them.
Tom Slingsby and crew can now celebrate back-to-back winners SailGP. What a season for them. There were moments, guys, during this year where they just looked to be out of sync and out of sorts, but they bounced back, and it was that win in Australia in December that seemed like they just grabbed the momentum and brought it all the way up to San Francisco.
Yeah, I mean, they've had some challenging moments, but my word, if they manage to hold it together and come good when it counts. And, you know, I think the class showed to deliver here in those conditions. We see in the hat, right-hand side of screen there, Coach Ben Durham. He'll have played no small part in this. Big man, big character, and I'd imagine on a day like this, that's just what you need from your coach to hold things together. But yeah, what a performance. Tom Slingsby there's a smile, satisfied smile. The red mist stayed away today, and he delivered.
That's a really solid squad, isn't it? And the standout results for me on the season was when they finished last in Taranto, dead last in Taranto, bounced back and won Plymouth. They finished last in Saint-Tropez, bounced back and won the next event, I believe, Cadiz.
Yes, exactly.
To bounce back like that shows real character, and that is why they're season 2 champions.
And what a bounce back they did on home waters. You remember in season number 1, they lost on home waters to, I believe, Ben Ainsley, so they got that win and got that monkey off their back. And then they come to San Francisco, guys, and they were just consistent. You look at race number 1, they finished in second place. Race number 2, they finished in 4th place. Race number 3, they bounced back again and had a pretty solid race there, as the Australians have just been the most consistent performing program throughout.
Has the fastest boat won, Stevie?
I think the fastest boat has won, absolutely.
There's no substitute for boat speed.
Meanwhile, the Americans with the damaged boat on the back, that coming in race number 4 with their collision with Spain, it just was not their day. And guys, we talked about this earlier in the week, unable to get the speed.
3, 2, 1.
See the crowds there watching the American boat looking to come home. They just got stuck in no wind. Local fans still bringing them home. Good to see. And they're up on the foils here, but that's just what can happen in those conditions. You get stuck in the water, stuck off the foils. There you go, 3rd place. First season in SailGP for Jimmy Spithill, and not how we would have imagined it ending, I'm sure.
Yeah, they seem to be beset by bad luck throughout the start of the season. There was a collision in Bermuda with Japan, and that kind of set things in stage. But they were consistent latter part, and then just to get into the grand final, that was a big accomplishment for Spithill and company. And here is the presentation. Russell Coots handing off the big trophy. That is a nice piece of hardware, guys. I'm assured that Tom Slingsby and crew will also be receiving a nice check, Freddie, in excess of $1 million.
Okay, over here we go, look.
Certainly not been a bad day at the office for that Australian crew. Thoroughly deserved.
The right way, spinner.
There we go. Get the Aussie flag out. Tom Slingsby's obviously done that before, made sure the flag's the right way up.
Yep.
It's a good sign. And wow, big smile on their face. Wonder if they're going to be able to keep that going for the next season.
So once again, it is Aussie, Aussie, Aussie. They reign supreme in SailGP Season 2. And now the bubbly will flow here in San Francisco. This part they have down.
Bring it on. Goggles on.
Well, now we turn our attention as the champagne flies in San Francisco to Season 3. It'll be another amazing season that will be coming up, and it's not very far away.